my day as a software engineer at TikTok and how to get hired. I head to the office mainly for the free breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Today I'm visiting our LA campus on an all-expense paid work trip. I load my backpack with
It's lunchtime and I order sweet green. I usually get the crispy rice bowl and the kombucha. I continue working as my day split between design and coding.
About
I use Java and
3 to 4 times a year,
AWS
and this time
technology. I needed a new case for my iPhone and a wireless charger, so I headed to the Apple store. I got home and continued.
So it turns out those day in the life of a software engineer TikToks all were selling a dream. I've been working as a software engineer for the past 3.5 years, and I don't have breakfast, lunch, and dinner paid for. I don't have any slides in my office. I don't have any nap pods in my office, and I'm just working a normal job. But in all seriousness, I'm going to talk about kind of the reality of being a software engineer in 2025 and why this matters. So I think it's really important before you kind of step foot in any other industry is to do your research. And at the moment, most content surrounding software engineering are these TikToks where it's like day in a life, and they show this really nice lifestyle, to be honest with you. You know, waking up kind of relatively later in the day rather than, you know, bright and early like a lot of other traditional jobs, having to commute into the office, and working from home. They can kind of wake up slightly later, sleep in even sometimes. A lot of these videos show themselves kind of going to the gym, strolling into the office at any time, and getting their breakfast and dinner all paid for. And I'm here to kind of tell you what are the benefits of actually being a software engineer, the reality of that, are these TikToks even true, and how to make the most of being a software engineer and the kind of focusing on the positive side, but also talking about the negatives and how we can maybe overcome them being a software engineer and how to navigate that. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is, are these TikToks even real? Well, kind of. The reality is most software engineering roles are hybrid nowadays. So I live in London. I've been a software engineer for the past 3.5 years, and I'm more or less fully remote. Now, most roles now I've been looking at in the market are kind of hybrid, where they kind of expect you to be in the office 2-3 times a week. But there are also a lot of roles where there is an office and you can kind of go in whenever you want. But the reality is, if you're first landing into a company, you do want to be showing your face in the office for, you know, at least the first 6 months for your probation period. So that kind of reality is, you know, that there is going to be office days that you might need to be going in. That is, of course, unless you get a completely fully remote role, and a lot of these companies do exist where a lot of the team are scattered across the whole world and you just kind of log in remotely and work on their hours. But from my personal experience, I've not seen these roles as in abundance compared to these hybrid roles which I'm seeing nowadays. Now, a lot of those TikToks I was talking about showcase this really nice, luxurious lifestyle being a software engineer, where you're kind of just getting paid to chill and relax. But the reality is, like, if you do work at like a big tech company, there are a lot of benefits, but they're flipping hard to get in. There's a reason why these benefits are there. It's because they've worked hard, to be honest with you, to get there, and you know, they do have the best of the best engineers. And so if you do want your breakfast, lunch, and dinner paid for, and you do want these fancy offices, you've got to work hard for it. And you do have to study these very difficult technical interviews and pass these stages and get your experiences up so that you can live, you know, as close to that lifestyle as possible. But then again, they are still jobs. You still have performance reviews. You still need to be performing well. You do need to be on top of all your stuff. And you need to be delivering value. And otherwise, you're just going to get dropped. So that's the kind of reality of that side of things. But from my point of view, I did see a lot of those benefits at the start of 2021, 2022, and this was pre-tech layoffs. But now most companies who are kind of like mid-size are kind of getting closer towards being more of a traditional business where they need to make money and cut down on costs and spending money on socials and spending money on you know, sending Uber Eats coupons and gift cards, which they used to do for us, and you know, now more kind of focusing on how to maximize revenue and reduce outgoing. So I mean, it makes sense from a business point of view, but obviously it kind of sucks because you do enjoy those benefits as, you know, being you know, going into this role, and who wouldn't like those benefits. But yeah, so the reality is, it is a job, and you kind of just need to get your shit done. So you need to kind of provide value for the company, and what that means is, like, you know, writing code and delivering, you know, features and thinking outside the box, and you know, collaborating with the team, pitching ideas, doing things kind of going above and beyond. So you might not have been asked to do something, but you can, pitch, I've actually been working on this on the side and this can actually help, the developers improve their productivity, or I've actually worked on this proof of concept where we can actually speed up the performance of the website, and here are the numbers to do that. And doing those things will really go a long way and help you get those promotions, just like any other job. So that's the kind of reality of like kind of what you're expected to do, especially if you want to kind of continue and grow in your career as a software engineer. But I'm going to kind of talk about the negatives, and the negatives being that like you are working on another platform. So if you're working in an industry that, like, for example, if you've got a job as a software engineer and you're working in the insurance industry, that shit can be kind of boring, man. You're like working on this website where it's like, insurance documents and building out their platform, and you might not be that passionate, and so that can kind of make you lose motivation. And I'm going to kind of talk about how to overcome that. So from my point of view, I would kind of do a bit of a mindset shift, and mindset meaning like how you are looking at this problem and kind of thinking about it, rather than you seeing it as a boring insurance platform. Just kind of have a blank canvas over it and think of it like you're solving many different problems. So let's say you need to improve the performance of the website. It doesn't matter if the website's insurance or the coolest AI web app. At the end of the day, it's a problem that you need to be solving is improving the performance of the site, or how to make these buttons look nicer, and it doesn't really matter what it is you're actually building. So that's kind of one way to look at things. But also what's really helped for me is building side projects. So making projects that you are passionate about and that kind of give you that thrill, and kind of keeping that that dream alive, that you can make this side project and get a lot of users on it, and kind of working on that side of things can really keep inspiring you as a software engineer. But so the reality is, being a software engineer, there are a lot of benefits, and compared to a lot of traditional roles, it is a lot more modern and forward thinking. So little things like getting a MacBook for the work laptop is a nicer experience than getting one of those old Dell laptops or ThinkPads or whatever they are. And working from home is a massive flexibility, so you can actually run your errands and do your life admin throughout the day. And I think one of the benefits is that the no micromanagement. So obviously it depends where you work, but most places aren't really breathing down your neck. As long as you get your shit done, they don't really mind. And what that means is you work the hours that you prefer, as long as you're attending your meetings and whatnot. And as long as you're getting your stuff done, there's not that many micromanaging things going on at work. So this is my kind of experience, and I think the key takeaway of this video, what I want to say is kind of just set expectations before getting into the industry. At the end of the day, it is a job. You are working for someone else, and you do have to do these tick box things, exercises, and meetings, and typical corporate jargon. But it is the benefits are it is a high paying job. You get to work from home. You could save a lot of money working from home, and kind of just set those expectations before kind of getting into it. But yeah, that's been my thoughts, and I hope this was useful for somebody out there. Let me know if you have any questions. I will answer everyone in the comments. But yeah, take care.